Do Mexicans really celebrate death on November the 2nd? Many foreigners are surprised that in our country we have a holiday dedicated to the dead. In many cultures, death is taboo, a dark and sad subject associated with mourning and pain. How is it possible that in Mexico we sing songs and make offerings of food, flowers, and colorful decorations to it? Today we will explain 7 symbols of the Day of the Dead. What is the meaning of the Day of the Dead? In Mexico, we celebrate the Day of the Dead, a holiday in which homes are decorated and altars are set up to remember those who have passed away. The Day of the Dead is not simply a Mexican Halloween, as some seem to believe. Although both holidays share a common season and some themes, they have very different roots. Not long ago, we made a video explaining how this holiday emerged from a fusion of pre-Hispanic rituals of worshiping the dead and the Catholic celebrations of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day that the Spanish brought with them in the 16th century, all seasoned with some Celtic and Roman influences. Let's look at the symbolic meaning of the most prominent elements of this special day. Cempasuchil flower. This is a kind of marigold flower of yellow-orange color native to Mexico and was originally called Cempasuchil in Nahuatl, which means 20 flowers, likely due to its big number of petals. Our ancestors already used it as medicine to cure fevers and as a diuretic, among other functions. And the Mexica used it as an offering during festivals to Nezahualcoyotl, the goddess of corn, and to Huitzilopochtli, their main deity. It was considered a symbol of life and death, and it was used to decorate the burials of the dead. Cempasuchil is planted around August so that it blooms between October and November, just in time for the commemoration of the dead. Because of its fragrant aroma, it was thought that the souls of the dead could smell it, so the petals were used to form paths to guide them to their altars. Candles. Along with flowers, the light of candles guides the way for the deceased so they can return home to be with their families. The flame symbolizes light, faith, and hope, as well as the importance of remembering a loved one. It is believed that lighting a candle welcomes the soul who visits the offering. The ancient inhabitants of Mexico used pieces of ocote, a resinous pine wood that burned for a long time and gave off a fragrant aroma. But since the introduction of the Christian faith, candles, votive candles, and tapers have been used to honor God and symbolize the faith that dispels darkness. Sugar skulls. Outsiders may be surprised that this element combines something as gloomy as a skull with the colors and sweetness we associate with fun. Although their origin is not entirely certain, it is thought that these skulls emerged from the Tzompantli, the altar where the skulls of sacrificed people were collected to keep the gods and the world alive. Hence, they are considered symbols of death and life. Nahua cultures often made figurines of amaranth mixed with honey as offerings, but with the arrival of the Spanish, sugar was incorporated as the main ingredient. Europeans also brought the philosophical idea of memento mori to these lands. It is common to find the theme of the skull in European art, telling you to remember that you will die, to counteract human vanity and pride. It is thought that this is why the skulls bear a person's name, as a playful and sweet way to remind us that our time in this world is limited and we should make the most of it. Bread of the Dead. In Spain, the bread of souls was already baked around this time. This bread was shaped like a person and was also common during Lent and Holy Week. It was thought that when a loved one passed away, there should be bread in the house to ease the passing. This tradition reached the Americas. In Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador, it became known as bread guaguas or tantaguagua, and in Mexico, it became pan de muerto, of which there are several varieties. However, in central Mexico, due to Aztec influence, its shape changed to include 4 small bones and a sphere in the center, symbolizing the skull. This is the most widespread style. It is said that the Spanish conquistadors, horrified by human sacrifice, substituted human flesh with the innocent bread. Although the legend may be false, it serves to explain the ritual significance of this food, which is left on the altar to feed and delight the deceased who visit us. Altar. All of these elements are present in the altar or offering of the dead, which is a structure made in honor of a deceased person. At the center, there is usually a picture of the family member or members being remembered, or in other cases, of someone important to the community. Thus, on altars in schools or public buildings, it is common to find images of artists, educators, or people who fought for the common good. In addition to bread, marigold flowers, candles, and sugar skulls, the altar is often decorated with colorful tissue paper with cut-out shapes, fruits, and other flowers. The offering also includes salt, which represents purity and protection for the soul of the deceased, to prevent it from being corrupted on the journey between the world of the living and the dead. It can be placed in a container or shaped into a cross. The cross can also be made of ash. Copal, an aromatic resin that has also been burned for purification since pre-Hispanic times. In many cases, it has been replaced by incense. Water, to quench the thirst of the soul after such a long journey. Food. It is customary to offer the deceased their favorite foods in life, sometimes including their favorite liquor. Sometimes an squintlet dog toy is placed especially on altars dedicated to children to accompany and guide their soul on the journey there and back. It is also common to find their favorite toys on children's altars, or as they often call them, altars dedicated to little angels. Crowning the altar is usually a crucifix or rosary that represents divinity in remembrance of the resurrection of Jesus, the one who conquered death. Often an arch is also included, symbolizing the gateway to Mictlan, the world of the dead, or to heaven. The custom is to gather around the altar on the night of November 2nd to pray, drink punch or coffee with bread, eat, and remember the deceased on this day when they are supposedly allowed to visit the world of the living. Literary skulls. This fun tradition is newer. It emerged in the 19th century. These verses playfully mock living people, recalling their peculiarities or character flaws as if they had already died. At first, since they were used by some writers to criticize high society for wanting to resemble European elites, they were censored. But they later became a tradition for this time of year, and it is even considered a form of recognition to have one of these irreverent verses dedicated to you. La Catrina. This symbol became popular in the early 20th century during the dictatorship of Porfirio Díaz. The printmaker José Guadalupe Posada created the garbancera skull to mock Mexicans who claimed to have French culture and customs, and in 1947, Diego Rivera immortalized it in a mural and named it La Catrina, a term used to describe an elegant and well-dressed person. The custom of wearing makeup and dressing like a Catrina is much more recent. It apparently began in the late 20th and early 21st centuries as an influence of Halloween costume parties. And what about the skull parade? Well, that was invented by Hollywood in 2015. The James Bond film Spectre, directed by Sam Mendes, portrays a fictional carnival in Mexico where people appear dressed as skulls and Catrinas. The idea was so popular that the parade is now held for real in Mexico City and has become a tradition since 2016. Well, thank you, Mr. Bond. In 2008, UNESCO inscribed the Day of the Dead to its representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Many of us who celebrate the Day of the Dead don't literally believe in the return of souls or that they actually come to drink water and eat their favorite foods, but we actively participate in the celebration because it is a way for us as a community to remember and honor those who have passed away. It's not that we celebrate death, but rather we believe it is important to remember it in order to live joyfully. As these verses of Nezahualcoyotl remind us, nothing is forever on earth, only a little while here. Though it be jade, it will crack. Though it be gold, it will break. Though it be the plumage of a quetzal, it will tear. Not forever on earth, only a little while here. What shall I take with me when I go? Shall I leave nothing behind me on earth? How shall my heart act? Is it in vain that we came to live, to sprout on the earth? Let us at least leave flowers. Let us at least leave songs. Think about it. If you liked this video, we greatly appreciate you giving it a like and sharing it with friends and family. We also invite you to support us with a small contribution each month. In return, you can appear in the credits and participate in the selection of topics. You can do it with the join button or at patreon.com/curiosamente.